Kia ora, and welcome to Crystal Payroll. Public holidays can be tricky to process for your staff, as there are so many different scenarios to consider. Luckily, you have an excellent payroll system to keep this as simple as it gets. In order to begin entering a public holiday, you need to head over to Process a Pay and then Time and Income. From the Time and Income page, if the employee has default working hours, then the public holiday will automatically be loaded into their timesheet as though they had taken the day off. Let's review each scenario together though, using an employee who does not have default working hours. If you want to enter a public holiday for an employee, then you need to select the date field along the top of the page and select the public holiday date. The system will automatically pick up whether or not this is a public holiday. If the public holiday falls on a weekend and the employee does not normally work on that day, be sure to untick the public holiday box and use the designated Monday or Tuesday date instead, even if the employee does not normally work on that day either. In every instance, leave the action as normal working. If the employee took the day off, and they are entitled to be paid for it, then enter the default hours and leave the worked hours as blank. Please note that even casual employees may be entitled to a public holiday depending on their working pattern and a range of other things. If you are unsure of how many hours to pay the employee, then use the information button to the right of the default hours field and use a calculation that you believe to be most fair to both the employer and the employee. Hit apply. This tells the system the employee did not work, but they would normally work, so they should receive pay at normal time for taking the day off. If the employee worked on the public holiday, and they would normally work on that day of the week, then enter both the worked hours and the default hours for that day. If you are unsure of the default hours, then just enter the field as the same as the worked hours. This tells the system to pay them time and a half for working on that date, and give them an alternative holiday as it is a normal day of work for them. If the employee worked on the public holiday but would not normally work on that day of the week, then enter only the worked hours field and leave the default hours field blank. This will tell the system to pay them time and a half, but that they should not receive an alternative holiday, as it is not a normal day of work for them. Once you have configured this date to the employee's scenario, don't forget to hit save. Lastly, please note that if an employee is not entitled to a public holiday, you do not need to enter in anything into their timesheet if they did not work on that day.